did very large special events for large corporations. McDonald's was my biggest account from 1976. I also did Ronald McDonald House Charities and got involved in their events. But I primarily booked entertainment. I also had a business called Rarities, where I traveled to 70 countries and imported rarities from third world countries and sold them off of Michigan Avenue in a small little shop.
And in the process of doing all this, did you encounter cannabis? Were
Never.
you out there in the countryside? Did you know?
Other than socially.
Uh-huh.
And then I had a bicycle broker company when Schwinn couldn't make enough bicycles to sell. We went over to Germany and we built a bike to bring and import into America because there were no bikes at that time. It was during the Kennedy era when he was into exercise and nutrition and everyone got on bikes. And so
briefly
we solved that problem.
Yeah, it was a 50-mile walk.
Yeah,
some of us actually made it 2 miles.
But what is interesting is that right before I got into this business, I wanted to reinvent myself, looking for something other than what I've been doing since 1976. And this fell into my lap through social marijuana. I had smoked at a wedding with a friend, and then we went to a dinner opening, a restaurant opening, and he told me he was doing something, ancillary to marijuana. And I said, how do I get in? And he said, do you have any property? A cousin of mine had just inherited 77 acres in southern Illinois. I said, yes. I called my cousin, and I said, what are you doing with that property? Do you want to build on it? And, the rest is history. Like I said, we didn't get it. But when I contacted my cousin out here and we got involved, that's how I then knew edibles was the way to go.
What year are we talking about? When your sisters became ill, what years were these?
My oldest sister, 20 years ago.
Okay.
My baby sister, she's 3 years cancer-free. But she constantly fights the idea of it coming back because it's such a rare cancer that it will come back.
Okay, so 20 years ago, medical cannabis was darn hard to find, was it not?
There was no medical.
There was none.
It was
There was a guy on the street, Meryl.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Our girl.
Exactly.
Acid,
She got it
yes.
illegally.
Acid, speed,
Mm-hmm.
pot, yes.
Mm-hmm.
Was she still using when medical came along in California?
No. She's been cancer-free. She's had a couple of cancers since, but not the serious. She had two breast cancers, but she was using during both of those breast cancers. But now both sisters are on CBD because of me.
You caught that dreadful story of the thug policeman breaking into the man's hospital room in Missouri because someone had called to say he was smoking marijuana, a cancer patient, and they broke into the room and searched everywhere. It was like, really, guys? Really? It's 2019. Give us a break. Stop it. But you came up with it at a tougher time, as did Janice. Even out here to get the medical license to the permit to buy medical was pretty tough. You said at first it was costing you $150, $200?
No, the first it was $150,000 was the actual license.
Oh no, I mean for you to actually for people to
to
actually
get my
buy
medal
the
for
store.
my recommendation, I spent $150 to get my first doctor's rec, and
Right.
didn't know I had to fill out the paperwork because they said had you used cannabis, and I'm like, no, it was never my drug of choice. I got it because I owned the collective, and my criminal attorney said I don't want you there without a medical license.
Yeah. By the time I got it a couple of years ago, you sent a message to